I Hi everyone, I've got a little sketchbook tour that I'm going to kick off today with Darren Quatch. He's the author of this Inkworks book. Alright, so Darren Quatch. I like how he's incorporated some of the Japanese mythos or like design into his sketchbook here, his Inkworks book, sorry, yeah, Inkwork medium. Good use of lights and shades, very brought out detail on the type of paper used. You can really see some of the expressions on some of these details on the face. It's kind of similar to what I like doing with mech things. But it is good to get out of the comfort zone and try something different, creatively different, and merge the two, so more biological and metal. Although I think I'm fairly good with physical objects, creating more than... Although my anatomy could do with some work. I think if I'm going to get better at motion, then rigging facial features and stuff for creatures, for more like anthropomorphic creatures would be more suited at this point, I believe. I think that's what I believe. Hellgirl, like making a short Hellgirl live action and Helsing would prove somewhat what's the right word? A challenge. It'd definitely be a challenge, but it would help me in various areas for the essentials of getting better at animation itself, as well as the traditional sketching if I were to do a short. Also fluid effects, because if I have Helsing get destroyed by an army of ghouls and then he reassembles himself as that dark goopy matter, kind of like what's his name? Kind of like Venom from Spider-Man, but more demonic, like Supernatural series. But that kind of mindset and the way the creature blends from the shadow. I can really mess around with light contrast and various other composite editing. Be pretty good. Let's see. So they also pointed out, I quote from Aristotle, "We are what we repeatedly do." I think because you get into a habit of making something, creating something, and it becomes more easily to create, and then you want to enhance it by adding stuff on top of it. So you sort of amalgamate everything. So yeah, it's not an act, but a habit. Yeah, I could see that in me. I could see this habits that are like that I've turned into projects that I work on. I could see how that makes sense. As I can't remember which one it was. I think it was John. What's his name? Scott Roberson stated at the beginning of the video. You draw what's most clearly to you, and that could be across the board for anything. You make what you can do best, and then you apply your skills, and you adapt into other areas, if that makes sense. So if I spend half my time writing a script and then doing rough concepts and then a final storyboard, or sometimes you just want to go with a flow, just make something to try out to see how it looks, because sometimes the weirdest thing is if you've got it clearly in your head and you make it, sometimes you can make it without mistake. So I don't know if it's possible to do the whole production line for that by myself, or if I have to take it steady, because that might cause, what's the right word, might cause a like a breakdown, like your brain just can't handle it because you're doing too much at once. But then there's this finite moment where you can just get into it and get a decent amount done. You know, it's as if I do a storyboard and then start CGing the creatures and then rigging them for movement, and then trying to, I'd have to test out some environment production scenes separately, and then see which one I can change the fundamentals for that specific production. If you're following me. Because these dudes, they seem to. What was the movie that he was working on? Because he did work for a few studios, didn't? But he didn't do the whole production. He worked on mainly the concept and the art and the feel in the composite of that art to be brought onto a medium, or should I say a visual media application, like a TV series or something. So, alright, that's my thoughts. Yeah, check out if you're into anything like this, like design or this is a decent book for both graphic design, animation, or architecture, like creating small versions of different architecture. So yeah, Scott Roberson channel's pretty decent. If they show you the entire process of designing for the various fields, and I think they do a pretty decent job. Alright,